everybody, Wildman Wes here, and welcome to the Worst State of Movies, where we look at 50 movies made in each of the United States that are considered the worst of the worst. And after reviewing them, I decide whether or not they are deemed worthy of said title. Let's see which state we go to today. We now travel to the state of Oklahoma, the Sooner State, and home of legendary wrestling commentator good old Jim Ross. But that's not the point today. I've realized that with a lot of the movies that have been on this series, we haven't done a lot of melodramas or just drama in general. And when I saw the movie that was picked for today, I had a little bit of reservation because I thought to myself, there are a lot of topics in this that are pretty touchy. But we're going to get into it. The movie today is 2000's Where the Heart Is. This movie is about a young woman named Nova Lee Nation and her boyfriend Willie Jack, who are leaving the trailer park to travel out to Vegas or California or somewhere where he can get his start as a musician. Nova Lee is pregnant with Willie Jack's child, and as they're traveling across state, they stop in Oklahoma at a Wal-Mart to pick up some provisions. Well, unfortunately, Nova Lee has this bad feeling and bad vibe of the number 5 because it reminds her of things in her personal life regarding her mother and other situations that went bad. When she goes to the checkout aisle, her amount is $5.55. She freaks out, leaves, and sees that Willie Jack is gone. Oh boy, this is off to a rough start. With nowhere to go and no one to turn to, Nova Lee decides she needs to seek refuge inside the Wal-Mart while nobody's looking to survive and also be able to rest comfortably while she goes through the rest of her pregnancy. In the midst of all that, she meets what I like to call the island of misfit rednecks. A lot of quirky characters that are a little off, and also not just that, a freelance photographer named Moses who takes pictures at the Walmart for people in exchange for a side hustle on his business. During the introduction of the quirky characters, Nova Lee meets a young man named Forney who works over at the local library. He's a little standoffish, and later on you find out that Forney is taking care of his invalid sister, who is the true librarian. When Nova Lee is spending time in the Walmart, as her pregnancy progresses, she goes into labor. Forney just happens to be outside on a stormy night from the Walmart and breaks through the window to help her deliver her child. And when she's in the hospital, she's known as the Walmart mom, and her new daughter is called the Walmart baby. I feel like a country song should be made about this. Nova Lee gives her daughter a name that she feels means something. Americus Nation. You can't make this up. Throughout the film, Nova Lee is raising her daughter and battles a lot of uphill circumstances as what you could probably say a series of unfortunate events. Meanwhile, Willie Jack is shown in blips in the film dealing with his own problems with karma, 50 shades of it. He gets pulled over and arrested for picking up a hitchhiker that is underage and was also stealing things from a gas station. He also gets his stint in playing music in Santa Fe, and it turns out when he was in jail, his cellmate was a musician as well, and Willie Jack stole music from him, and now he's getting sued and dropped from a label that he was working with. At the end of it all, Willie Jack becomes an alcoholic and has his legs crushed by a train while he passes out on the tracks. Nova Lee feels sorry for him to a degree, picks him up from the hospital, and tells him that she really doesn't want her daughter knowing anything about him. She also falls in love with Forney, they get married and live happily ever after. I literally omitted a lot from this, and I look at my notes, and there's a lot that goes on in this, and it is very hard to keep up. I'm going to go through what I like and what I don't like about this film as fast as I can, because I feel very, very uncomfortable with this movie, and not necessarily because of how I feel about what I might grade it or might not grade it. It's just the topics alone can get really, really rough. The cast definitely has some names that are the who's who of Hollywood from the 60s, 70s, all the way up until the year 2000. We have Natalie Portman, we have Sally Field, we have Keith David, we have Stockard Channing, we have Ashley Judd. We have a lot of other names as well. However, those are the names that stand out big time. James Frain is also in this film. The reason why I bring him up is because he has played in a lot of movies and TV shows that don't get a lot of credit, or maybe just aren't looked at as much. He plays the character of Forney, and when I saw the movie, I recognized him as, Azrael from the TV show Gotham. So that was kind of interesting, because I was yeah, he looks familiar. And he does a fairly decent job playing a neurotic brother of a librarian trying to take care of them when they no longer can take care of themselves. Now I'm going to tackle the other thing that I appreciate, even though I am uncomfortable on it, and a lot of it has to deal with the topics involved within the movie. A lot of it has to deal with the fact that Novalee, being an unmarried woman, having a pregnancy, and going to a small town in Oklahoma, she is met with a lot of negative energy with the considered social norms of having a child out of wedlock and having people bringing their beliefs onto her and making her feel worse than she already does after the fact that the father of the child skipped town. Not to mention the harsh reality of who people really are, whether they're your real friends or your real family, and also fake friends and fake family. One particular example on this one is that Novalee's mother, played by Sally Field, is out of the picture for most of her youth. And after she becomes famous for being the Wal-Mart mom, her mother comes back and wants to make amends and say, hey, let's get a house together or an apartment or something and bring the baby along. I need some money. Novalee gives her mother some money, and then her mother says, I'll be back. I'm going to go get some provisions and I'll be right back. Well, guess what? She doesn't come back. Just one of those uncomfortable things that there are a lot of people out in this world that have experienced. And if you have, my heart goes out to you. It really does. Okay, now it's time to go into the things that I really didn't care for. I know that in movies that are melodramas or even dark comedies, you're going to have the inside jokes or the social commentary jokes about people from all over just existence. In this situation, being in Oklahoma, they made it feel like everybody in the town were rednecks, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to bring in anything else, but just how Wal-Mart was the pinnacle of the town. And I'm sure a lot of people probably go in the comment section going, yeah, I totally get it. But we're just going to drop it at that, because I don't need too many people getting on my case right now. I'm already feeling it. When it comes to the film in general, with the writing and direction, a lot of the plot for a while felt very predictable. And when I say that, I'm not trying to say it to shake the finger. A lot of it was when you're getting from point A to point B, and the moments between characters start to evolve, and especially when you are watching a melodrama that's full of the overused jokes and stereotypes, you kind of pick up where this is going. And I felt while watching this movie, I'm not a mind reader and I'm not the world's greatest film critic or film reviewer. However, as an avid movie watcher, when you've seen one trope, you've seen them all. And it's just, it got a little dull after a while. And not just that, they tried to make up for it with the segues of going back and forth from Novalee to Willie Jack, and even then it was predictable, and at the same time, the direction of the film I found myself conflicted, wondering whether or not I'm supposed to put more emphasis on Nova Lee's journey being a single mother, or if I should be sitting there focusing on how much more karma is going to bite Willie Jack in the ass. And that's where the paradox occurred for me. Okay, it is now time to grade this film. Now, in the interest of fairness, talking about the things that made me uncomfortable, even if it was a positive message for the viewer, and also the direction and where the plot was going in the film, I'm not going to say inconclusive. However, I would say it is not the worst movie made in Oklahoma. I'm going to put my thumb more at an angle. It's not inconclusive, but it's not the worst. It is very rough. And yes, there are topics in there that are going to make you uncomfortable. But at the same time, as I mentioned, as someone that watches movies and reviews them, there are going to be some that make you uncomfortable, not because of the fact that they're bad, but at the same time, I feel that they want you to think. It's a thinking movie. It really is, as weird as it sounds with a lot of the quote-unquote redneck stereotypes. It really does make you think. And it makes you feel hopeful for characters that really do struggle while living a positive life. And that's where I'm going to leave it at that, because we've had a lot of negative reviews lately, and I feel a little bit sad that I've let myself slip getting really mad about movies when I shouldn't. I am now letting my high horse Charlene go back to the stables, and I hope that you at least appreciated a little bit more of an honest review when it comes to movies that are considered the worst made in the United States. If you agree with me and you've seen this movie, leave a thumbs up, and if not, I understand. If you haven't watched it and you want to watch some movie that makes you think and also makes you a little uncomfortable, but not for the wrong reasons, watch it. Give yourself a chance to really think outside the box, as opposed to the goofy crap that we watch every other day. Yeah, I know I'm rambling, it's just, I'm still perplexed on this one. Apart from that, make sure you share on social media, but most importantly, you hit that subscribe button. Until then, I'm Wildman Wes, and we'll hopefully see you next time for Worst State of Movies, or some of the other stuff we have here on Dragonfire Entertainment. Take care.